Lucky Fortune Tarot. I have had tarot pretty much completely outside of my head for the past week. I've been doing other things, doing stuff like playing Baldur's Gate 3 and trying to figure out which ass is above which end is up with playing Baldur's Gate 3 on the, it just came out and I'm like trying to figure this thing out. And it's just, I'm such a just like a dimwit in this game. I'm like so bad at it. I'm learning though. It's like I'm just starting and it's just like embarrassingly awkward for me. The combat is turn-based and you're doing the like, okay, I'll shoot this or I'll shoot that. I'll move over here, but it's like, it's D&D. It's Dungeons and Dragons, just like playing on a table, but it's the computer game. And so its rules and the way combat works is structured the same way as D&D is. So it's fun in that way, but it's hard, man. And I keep getting my party killed. We're trying to fight things and we get wiped out. And so fortunately I've learned save the game periodically before you go into combat so that when you're all wiped out, you can just reload that where you saved and start again. But it's a steep learning curve, these things. But I can see why it's a good game. I can see why it's got a lot of story in it. But also they've made this game with 0 transactions in it. They've made it the way games used to be made 20 years ago, 25 years ago, where they made the game and they sold it and they put the game out and you bought it and you downloaded it and that's the game. The whole game is there for you. You don't get like, oh, open this chest and then pay an extra $15 if you want to upgrade to this and blah, blah. 0. It's just straight up in your face, the game from A to Z. The whole goddamn shebang. And it's really nice, actually, to know that you're buying a game and you've got the game. Nobody's going to be spending little monies here and there to buy this or that or get a higher elevation or level or whatever. It's straight in your face, the game. And I like it. It's so, honestly, MMOs get kind of boring. There's a lot of walking around, chasing around after things. And I don't know, the quests get a little dull because the MMO has to keep you in there forever and ever. And whereas a game is really interested primarily in you just play the game. You get through the whole game. I'm sure there's so much stuff in this Baldur's Gate game that you can just keep doing stuff way after you've played through the game's story. But this damn thing, it's like they're saying it's like 100 hours of main story content in this thing. So that's interesting. So that's what I've been doing is doing that. I've also been like doing car racing games and trying to keep tarot completely out of my head. Because sometimes I need to do that kind of a tarot refresh where you come in, literally sit down and do a stream like this with 0 tarot in my head, just as like wiped off the slate for a week. I went on a bike thing a couple days ago down to the beach. I was on bike and had like hot dogs and crap and stuff like that. It's really fun to do that stuff sometimes. And just a couple days before that, I was on this thing complaining about how summer, our attitude about summer vacation and enjoying ourselves has changed. And it's harder to enjoy things in a simple way. And then I just went down to the beach on a bike and it was fun. So there you go. I'm kind of full of crap sometimes. Well, not full of crap. I mean, just, things are, things are true, but there's always exceptions and contradictions to them. So anyway, let me, here's an idea. Since this game came out, and it's actually really good and interesting to learn a game like this, I'm going to do a reading. And since we're on Twitch, why not do a reading for learning new things, learning a new game, starting in on a brand new adventure, that kind of stuff. The idea of starting a new adventure, a new enterprise where you don't know what you're doing. You're just sort of getting in there, getting your feet wet. You know that there's a mountain of stuff to learn, and you may not even be able to, but you start nevertheless. And you just decide to see what comes. See, look at me. You just decide to, what did I just do to my, here we go. You just decide to see what comes of this. So let's try it. Let's see. And we get 2, 2, 4, 7. Whoom. Yang line. And we get 2, 2, 4, 7. Yang. And we get 2, 2, 4, 4, 7. Yang line. And we get, a 9. We get a moving yang. And then we go again. And we get a 6. That's a moving yin. And then we get one more, which is a 1, 2, 3, 6, which is another moving yin. What do we end up with? That's 2 yins over a yang at the top. Gives that, that's the thunder. And on the bottom, we have heaven. Thunder over heaven. And that gives us thunder 34. Let's write that down. 34, and our moving into the next one is yang, yang, yin, which gives us yang, yang. Oh, that's the wind. Wind over heaven is 9. That's written there. Okay. So our main one is 34, and we're talking about getting into new things that we need lots of learning, and we're ignorant fools bumbling in on a new adventure, sort of like me with streaming. But in this case, me in Baldur's Gate 3, a big, new, gigantic adventure video game. Let's see what the book says. 34 would be, I should know these by heart eventually, right? 34, there are probably plenty of people that can read the I Ching, just like I can read the tarot, just without any reference whatsoever, but I'm not one of them. All right, so 34, what our reading is telling us, thunder over heaven, is called great power, great strength. The lower trigrams, 3 solid lines, indicate great power and strength. And the lines want to advance. Added to this already great power is the aggressive upward movement of the upper trigram, which symbolizes thunder. The 2 trigrams taken together represent an irresistible... Hi, Therasith. How are you? The queue will be open when I'm done with this wonderful I Ching reading we're doing. The 2 trigrams taken together represent an irresistible force. Because you know that progress is certain, you should have only one goal: to advance in an appropriate manner. Before you set forth, be sure to pause and make certain that your actions are in accord with what is just, right, and honorable. Then you will move forward with good intentions and only along paths that are in keeping with good conduct and are socially acceptable. Avoid any action or behavior that would violate these standards. Conduct yourself at all times in a courteous, friendly, and dignified manner. Most importantly, behave with honor and integrity. Such conduct will ensure that after you have made your advance and achieved your goal, you will be able to enjoy the results of your success rather than exposing yourself to criticism. Your success is certain, so be sure to pursue it only by acting in ways that will bring you honor and respect. Well, this is a good lesson for me because, as I said, I was getting all into a big new game. And what was I doing while I was in the process of learning and applying my brain? I was yelling. I was screaming at my computer. I was cursing at it. I was angry. I was like every little thing that I stumbled with, I was blaming the game for. And so here we have the I Ching telling me to try to behave in a dignified manner so that I don't have anything to be ashamed of, and I will only find honor, success, and respect. And that means stop yelling at the damn machine while you're learning the game. Okay? Because we start off on things that are very difficult, require immense effort and learning. And some of these are serious matters, unlike the game I happen to be learning. and they require that you maintain your dignity and you don't just start yelling and screaming and like an angry child when you fail or when you don't understand things. It's very hard to consistently understand what you're doing in a new game. And I'm going to start yelling at my iPad now because it keeps turning off, because I still have it set to shut off after like 2 minutes or something. But there it is. It's back again. Now, let's look at the moving lines. We've got in the fourth position, we've got a moving line, which is telling us you are strong and in an excellent position, and you have the help of those in authority if you need it. You may now move forward with full confidence, but be careful not to abuse your strength by using it to excess. The path ahead of you will be smooth, and you will easily overcome whatever small obstacles are. Okay, so this is telling us, reminding us again to apply ourselves with confidence, and don't abuse our strength, and don't treat people honorably. Okay. Now, moving line in the fifth position, the next one, you're in an excellent position and have the support of your associates if you need it. So you can accomplish your goal easily if you move forward now. You do not have to be aggressive or stubborn in your stance. If you move ahead too forcefully when a situation does not call for it, you will meet with resistance and resentment. Okay, so these are all good lessons. Top line is also moving for us. You have moved ahead too forcefully if you get there, and have therefore become overwhelmed by complications. Neither backward nor forward motion will extricate you. Instead, you must come to a standstill. Compose and center yourself. Examine the situation so you can uncover the source of the problem and then solve it. If you do, you will free yourself from the complications and enjoy success and good fortune. Okay, so the trick here is push, do your work, work hard, but do it honorably, do it with balance. Don't go to extremes. Extremes are inherently difficult. They cause problems, and you then have to stop, take a breath, see where you are, and get yourself out of the situation you put yourself into by simply being too aggressive, demanding too much too quickly. We all can take lessons from this. Now let's go to the ninth hexagram that all these moving lines are pushing us toward. And that would be gentle restraint, holding back. So what did the last thing tell us? To pause and take a breath if we push too hard in our efforts, right? Our success can sometimes become too much, and we go a little bonkers. We grasp for too much too quickly. Our ego drives us. And then we have to say, whoa, pause. And here we have gentle restraint, holding back. The lower trigram of this kua now, again, is still formed of the three solid lines whose movement is upwards and represents a strong force that wants to advance. You may be the force, or it may be a group to which you belong. Your advance is being blocked by someone or something that is represented by the broken line in the fourth place. This becomes a broken line since it's a movable line. Because the fourth line is a weak, broken line, the force, which can be a person, group, or obstacle, is weak and therefore cannot permanently block you. But it can restrain your advance and hold it in check, though only for a short time. The brief period of holding back will be of great benefit because the future is being prepared for the time when you will be able to advance again. During this time of mild restraint, you should improve yourself in whatever ways you can, so that when the gentle restraining force eases, or you overcome it, you will be ready to move forward. If your question was about taking action, the answer is that you should gently restrain yourself for the time being until a more appropriate time for advance appears. Now, so what this means is if we go too far, then we have to sit and wait for a moment, gather ourselves, compose ourselves again, and use this sort of gentle restraint in order to gradually remove whatever problem we've basically created for ourselves, and then begin our forward momentum again without going to an extreme to cause one problem after another. This is all very sound, solid advice. It's almost like the I Ching was written by your average business school somewhere. It's just simple, solid advice. I don't know how else to put it. That and the I Ching is interesting because it sort of spells its advice out. That's the difference. That's why I like to combine I Ching with tarot. The tarot spells almost nothing out. It has words of sorts, some of which are almost meaningless to the modern ear, but it's mainly about pictures. I mean, whoever heard of a goddamn Hierophant, right? We've got the Hierophant card. Now, I often call it the High Priest card. Some people call it the Pope card in some decks. But, gee whiz, it's like, come on. Whoever heard of some of the Hierophant? So here we have, what the hell is that? That looks like some kind of a Lego model of someone's idea of a snow globe type trinket to sell if you visited a castle somewhere. So there you go. The tarot is much more sort of ambivalent, or not ambivalent, ambiguous. Ambiguous. We try very hard to assign meanings to these things, but sometimes I wonder if we even really all have them right. Do we really know? Do we really know what we're talking about? Tarot goes back to the 1400s that we know of. And do we really know what was in the minds of the original artists putting this thing together? It's debatable. I'm shuffling. I'm going to open a queue in a moment. Yeah, Thoth. Aleister Crowley. Crowley, was a kind of a weirdo. I think he was a bit forced. He was probably one of those, one of those guys, with his weird books. And I have his Book of Thoth, but he worked with this woman, this painter, to make his deck, and it's actually very pretty. It's a nice deck, actually. They changed some things around a little bit in it, but it's very She's really cool. She made a really great deck, and I think I think they both died before it was actually became like a popular selling deck. But Crowley had some issues. Crowley is not such a great dude. Some, apparently serious mistreatment of people and stuff. I don't really know a lot of details about him, but I don't think he's the kind of dude you want in your group. To be honest, I really don't. I don't think he was that guy that you wanted around. But he was, and I often wonder about these guys around tarot because it seems like the women did the decks. You've got Smith, the woman who did that deck, and often her name gets dropped off from when people refer to it, they call it Rider-Waite. But it's probably not really the Rider-Waite deck. I think it's really the Smith deck, because writers don't make tarot decks. People that are word-oriented don't make tarot decks. So what they try to do with these decks, and they give the men the credit, like Crowley, is they say, well, the ideas came from the men. Except there's like no tarot decks that have ever been made that way. Tarot decks are made by people who draw. They are not made by people who just deal with ideas. Never happened. So these dudes, yeah, they were idea men, sure, but they were in a time, early 20th century when they could get away with being the guy, the man. And these women, the artists, they made the decks. I know it. I know they made the deck. They had all the ideas, because when you start drawing a tarot card, you're not calling up Aleister Crowley going, Aleister, so I'm starting to work on the Empress card. Now, what do you think, should the trees be sort of pale green or a darker green with some little purple threads running through to signify? Oh, definitely, sweetheart. No, the trees should be pale green. Definitely, they should, because that signifies vegetation. Nobody's doing that. Nobody was making a tarot deck, making that phone call to Aleister Crowley. I'm sorry. Aleister Crowley was just a fucking jackass who was taking drugs in the bedroom and sitting under some velvet curtains and smoking hashish pipes or something and going, oh, and of course, convincing all the people around him that he was in charge. And meanwhile, this lady was making her tarot. She was painting every day and making this tarot deck. And so these things really are, I believe, the Smith tarot deck, what we call the Rider-Waite Smith. It's a Smith deck. And it's a Frida Harris deck. I'm sorry. These dudes didn't do shit. No way. They wrote a bunch of nonsense books and stuff that, I'm sorry, you open these books up that Aleister Crowley wrote, they don't mean anything. It's just nonsense that he put down just because he was like, I can get away with it. Frida Harris put something down that you can actually understand and enjoy. She made a tarot deck. I don't believe all the Aleister Crowley. Nah. Mm-mm. No way. I've read his stuff. I'm sorry. Probably get me kicked out of any tarot association for saying that. But I'm sorry, man. If a tarot association's backing up these fools, these dudes from the early 20th century, then they're misogynists. How else can I say it? But so here's another thing. And I know I have a queue open, but I once got in an argument with someone about a tarot deck, and I've said this before, but on Facebook, where I was talking about a deck that somebody was showing, and I liked it. And then somebody else got in there and said, that's not a tarot deck. I was like, if the person's calling it a tarot deck, then it's a tarot. No, it's an oracle deck. I'm like, no, it's a tarot deck. In fact, it follows pretty much the pattern of the Tarot de Marseille. And no. Tarot was evolved up until the point of the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck. And I was like, yeah, that was 1909. You do realize you're talking about 1909. That's when, and then the person was like, that's when the tarot deck achieved its highest form. And that's because in order to qualify as a tarot deck, you have to show the court, the medieval court. And I was like, no, there are no such rules. There are no existent rules that qualify a tarot deck in any way resembling what you're describing. There's no such rule anywhere in existence. That's purely something you're making up for yourself, which is fine. You're allowed to love the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck and think that that's tarot for you. But what you're not allowed to do is tell another artist that their deck isn't what that artist says it is. If that artist says it's a tarot deck, then it's a goddamn tarot deck. Right? Yes. So so I got into that, and this person arguing about the tarot was extremely conservative. And, there's a, tarot just, I'm always like, you I don't know. So much tarot, so many tarot decks are, some of them are just really ugly. They're just ugly. And they're just dumb. They just look bad. A lot of them. And that's just my reaction to them. It's very hard for me to find a tarot deck where I go, whoa, this is cool. There's a few I kind of like that, and that's why I go with the Tarot de Marseille most of the time, is because it's got this old medieval quality. It doesn't get too specific about its pip cards, number cards. It stays very abstract with those. And I kind of like that. It forces your brain to do things. And I find that the attempt to sort of make the pip cards very literal to be a little, it's just a little too much. It just gets a little weird to me. And I put the Rider-Waite-Smith into that category. And the Thoth Tarot, it has something about it I like attractively, but I sort of also always think of its images as like 1940s sort of paintings that you might see in like a doctor's office. And so, I don't know. Tarot is hard, man, because tarot is about art. And art is an incredibly subjective thing. It's very temperamental. You're talking about pictures, paintings, images, illustrations, whatever you want to call them. And you're just, if you do that, you end up it's like you're just thrown in water and anything can mean anything. So, but that's also what's great about tarot. Now, to go along with our opening I Ching reading, I'm going to procure a card from the middle. You mean Carl Jung? Jung is a fascinating dude. Look at that, King of Cups. I've read a lot of Jung. He can be very opaque and difficult to understand at times, but then at other times he's not. He can be very simple. And but But, his writings about the animus and the anima, these projections, these sort of personas we have, or these archetypes we have inside us, those kinds of ideas fit with tarot very well. A lot of people think Jung was a big advocate of tarot. He wasn't. He didn't know. He said maybe 1 or 2 sentences about tarot. He never wrote a goddamn thing about tarot. Somebody else did. Other people wrote books about Jung and tarot, but Jung didn't. The other thing, though, about Jung that's interesting, though, is his pictures. He made a big book called the Red Book of his pictures, which are very much like tarot in a way. He drew them. They're all his own pictures, and he drew them from his subconscious images that came to him, maybe in dreams. But he was trying to put down on paper the images that he saw as deep inside his subconscious that he gradually became aware of. And so he puts these things in, and they're kind of interesting to look at because they always remind me of tarot. They're doing something similar to what tarot is trying to do. And that's why I am interested in Jung. And because he has that, I think he would have appreciated all of these things about tarot. And in fact, he did say something, I can't remember what the quote was, but he said something that indicated to people that he had an appreciation for tarot. But he never really went in depth about it, ever. Other people then decided, well, obviously Jung we would like tarot, and his ideas fit. So they wrote books about how tarot fits in with Jung's ideas. In fact, there's one right over here. One of those books is right over. Hang on. It's in one of my. Oh yeah, here it is. Hang on. Okay. There you go. Jung and the Tarot. Dun, dun, dun. But that's written by someone named Sally Nichols. That's not written by Jung. So, but it's interesting because it's written by somebody who has a lot of knowledge about Jung and his ideas, and who also has a lot of knowledge about tarot. And they're saying, hey, look how these things converge. Look how what Jung is saying here, you can also say about tarot. Isn't this fascinating? And it is. Now, the King of Cups. Okay? The King of Cups came out, and I'm relating that to this effort to, when you're working hard at something and learning something, you do it because you have interest, you're fascinated. Sometimes you do it simply because you're told to, you have to. But normally, if you pick up something on your own, you're doing it because you have some kind of, fascination. You're following your heart, in other words. You're following your interest. And the king is able to kind of learn about themselves without pushing too wildly, becoming out of control, at least a good king. We can't say that about all kings, obviously, but when you're talking about tarot isn't talking about dingbats and dumbbells. Tarot is talking about the best of the best examples of this or that symbol. It's talking always about the high point. If it's discussing a low point, it goes straight down, it goes to the low point. It doesn't talk about goofballs that are just bad at being kings. And we can dismiss all of that. If you see a king in the tarot, then you know it's a noble, worthy, honest, powerful, reasonable king. Right? That's the thing. So we can say that this idea, when you embark on learning and gaining strength and power, maintaining that respect and dignity that the King of Cups card represents, can only help in what you're doing. It can only help. Just like I said, when I start yelling at my computer because I don't understand something a game is doing, And I'm like, damn it, yeah, oh, this stupid game, and these people are idiots that did that. Why would you make it work that way? Why on God's green earth would you ever make me press the W key to do that? That's insanity. But really, it's just me not knowing what world I'm in yet. I still have to adapt and and figure things out. So I have to remind myself to be more like the King of Cups and keep that balance and, keep your head level. But when you're learning, even a king knows that they have to learn and make progress. Otherwise, they can't make decisions that keep up with their times. They're changing times, right? So there you go. So the King of Cups is a good card. I sort of tend to react well to Cups cards for some reason. That idea of trying to follow your heart. And nobody knows better than I do that that's not an easy thing to do. Figuring out what your heart is actually telling you to do is, for some of us, just isn't that easy. It has not been easy through life. But in spite of that, I'm still interested in it. It catches my attention. So anything with the heart, the cups, tends to get my imagination going. Maybe a little bit better than something, even better than wands, or as I like to call them, sticks, which sometimes I can start feeling a little bit abstract about. Whereas with cups, it gets me more sort of feeling like it's about feeling. There's nothing really abstract about it. But Jung, Jung's the guy that wanted to build his own house out of stones, in the forest, and recommended people do some things like that to get themselves in touch with something. Interesting, but you've got to have the time and wherewithal to do something like that. Not everybody can go off into the forest and build stone huts. It's just not possible. But he doesn't mean that literally. He could do that, but he means that there's a way everyone can partake in that kind of basic endeavor, right? That's what he was suggesting, that there's something everyone can do. Maybe for some people it's taking a walk in the park with a certain frame of mind, right? It makes sense to me anyway. So let's do a little shuffling, and then I'm going to proceed with... I'm going to pull 3 cards. Oh, what do we have here? Well, all right, let's do it. Let's get down and dirty with this. We got coins, an 8, big number of splendid, infinite potential and effort, magnificent achievement, learning, capability. We are the craftsmen we are the craftsmen of the universe. We are able to make things. We can be highly productive. Whatever we put our hand to, whatever we set our attention on, gains. Okay? And we gain. Things get built when we come around. This 8 of Pentacles is not only, it's very sturdy, because after all, it's got the 2 quadrants, the 2-4, the stable 4s. It's a very powerful, solid bulwark kind of a card. But it's also got all these implications about balance and infinity and the potential for growth and change. But the change is not wild, unbalanced change. It's change that sort of moves in it's reminding us of the cycle. You got to remember that 8, that number, that it's got that motion like that, it's got a gentle quality to it. It's got a smoothness. This is very important in tarot. So there's something about this highly stable, capable person here. Okay. And then over here, we've got this 3 of Swords reverse, the mind, the intellect, and, our thinking is, maybe a little muddled, a little slowed down. We're not yet ready to apply. There's some idea that we're just not able to, something we can't quite figure out. We can't quite, something we can't put our finger on. And it's just sort of bugging us in the back of our minds here on this left side card, bugging us a little bit. It's irritating. What have we forgotten? What the hell have we forgotten? That's what it is. There's something I forgot. I don't know. I don't know what it is. What is it? Well, over here on the right, something tarot is saying, hey, don't forget this. Keep this highly in mind, in the forefront of your mind, to use a less awkward phrase. The Devil card. So the Devil, all about being literally tied down to something, being unable to develop, unable to freely progress the way we have to naturally. We're stuck in the Devil card. We're prisoners in the Devil card. We're in dungeon. We're under control of something or someone. There's something we've not able to see. We're not able to resolve something, and we're stuck. And it's like, be careful of being, be careful of being subjected to someone's control, to their ideas. Remember the power of our own capability, our own ability to take care of ourselves. It's infinitely potential here. Our ability to handle ourselves, to create security, and to make life stable. Okay, we have this capability here. We have it in abundance. And the reading is saying this is something you need to really fall back on. And, these difficulties here of the mind, kind of a sluggishness, an inability to figure out what it is that we need to say, or we're unable to make the plan work or something here. Keeps bugging us in the back of our minds. What is it? And here, the obstacle we have to look for coming around the bend right in front of us is falling into some pattern or control of someone else or some idea that really isn't part of us, that isn't our natural way. We got to be careful of that. That's what this reading is suggesting. So remember, whatever our basic fundamental skill and ability is here, because it's hugely powerful in assisting us. Tarot is basically, it's not fortune telling, it's philosophy. It's philosophy. It's saying simply, if somebody walks into a bar and sits down next to you and says, I'm going into business with a partner, and I don't know necessarily, I haven't known him long, and they seem to be stable and everything, and I just don't know if I should. Well, I mean, I'm going into business with them. I'm just about to, but I'm just, I don't know. I feel like there's something I'm missing. Well, what do you think, mister, sitting next to me drinking your beer? And I'd say, well, my philosophy is that you don't do anything in a hurry when you're getting into a business partnership. You find out who you're talking to, who your partner is. You find out. You look around, you ask around, you observe, you talk and you muddle in and out of things, and you see what comes out of their mouth and how they react to things. You get to know them. And that's just my philosophy in general. That's sort of what I would say. Well, the tarot does that. That's what the tarot is, the guy at the bar saying, well, my philosophy has always been to do it this way. And so that's what you're doing. You're offering your perspective, or you're offering the tarot's perspective through your interpretation of the tarot. That's what it is. It's not really a fortune. And I like to use the word fortune. It's a great word. For some reason, I really am sort of attached to using that word. But I use the word fortune in the meaning of fortune as Shakespeare would have used it. One's fortune. You know, what does fortune hold? I don't use it really in the sense of I'm going to tell your fortune. I am going to tell your fortune so that you know what's going to happen. That's not what I do. I'm going to talk to you about fortune and how fortune sort of, operates in my understanding of this philosophy of the tarot. I suspect that makes sense. I think that's a very reasonable approach. I don't think you can get in trouble with that approach to tarot, because you're talking about philosophies and ideas. Everyone is free to express their philosophy, their ideas. And you can express them openly. I mean, why shouldn't you? There's an interesting thing that happened. So here's the other thing I was paying attention to. It's about streaming. There's this streamer that apparently this weekend said that he was going to give PlayStation 5s out in Union Square Park in the middle of New York City. And thousands of people showed up, and a bunch of them rioted and started smashing cars and stomping on them and fighting with police. And the first thing that comes to mind is, if you're jumping on cars and rioting because you showed up to get a PlayStation 5 for free in a park, you are very, very deeply in a quagmire of trouble. I mean that on a life level. You are probably never going to get a good job. You are probably never going anywhere. anywhere. You are doomed. There's just no possible. There's no road for you. If you are going down to a park to get a free PlayStation 5 and then decide to smash cars and jump up and down and attack whatever is in front of you, you're done. I don't care if you're 15 or 30. It's over. If you're 13 and you're doing that, bud, it's over. You're never going to get past it. And, but so I was interested in the legalities of this thing because this streamer was arrested for inciting riot. Apparently, I'm not sure. That's what I heard. Or possibly, what do they call it? Disturbing peace or something, but anyway, I'm like, wait a second. How hold on a second. So let's say it wasn't PlayStation 5s. Let's say that somebody says in public, hey, I'm going to walk down to the park tomorrow and I'm going to give away 5 tennis balls. Anyone who walks up to me, I'm just going to give them a tennis ball. The first 5 people that say hi, I'm going to hand them tennis balls. Okay? And you say that on your Facebook. And you walk down to the park with your 5 tennis balls in your pocket, and 10,000 people are there waiting for you. And you walk up, and those 10,000 people realize that only 5 of them are getting your tennis balls, and the rest, 9,995 of them, riot. Okay? You can't be blamed for that riot. You cannot be blamed because as soon as you say that you can't say in public, I'm going to give away 5 tennis balls in the park tomorrow, as soon as you say that, you're shutting everything down. And they said something in this thing when they arrested this guy. They said something about a permit, that he didn't have a permit. Well, it's like, wait a minute. I know that for certain kinds of if you're going to stage a protest where you know that you want 10,000 people to show up to protest, yeah, you need a permit so that you can get like things, for protection and, security, basically. But if you say I'm going to give away 5 tennis balls or 5 PlayStations, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what the object is. If you say I'm going to give away 5 pencils, you don't know that 10,000 people are going to show up. They might. They definitely could. Or 5 people show up. Or none. You have no idea. So how in the hell can you possibly even say that the person needed a permit? It's not, I just don't understand I think they arrested him just to save face and to make a point, and they'll probably have to as soon as they talk to city prosecutors and attorney, they're going to say, no, you got to let them go. Sorry. You can't do that. You can't arrest people for saying, I'm going to give away 5 PlayStations in the park tomorrow. There's nothing illegal. He didn't break a law. Unless the guy stood there and said, everybody smash the cars over there. Go and smash them. Unless he did that, I don't see any way they can do a damn thing to this guy. I think it's, and I wouldn't want them to be able to, because, people have to be able to speak and say things like, I'm going to give away something. There are rules about things like contests. If you say, I have a contest and I'm going to give away a PlayStation 5, so enter the the contest. Put your number in, and then we'll choose a winner. You have to pick a winner, and you have to give the prize. I believe it's against the law in most states, or maybe it's federal, I don't know, but it's against the law in most places to not follow through on a contest. You have to be very careful about that. But this guy wasn't doing a contest or anything. He just said, I'm going to give somebody something. That's all the dude said. I'm going to give somebody something. I'm going to do it in the park. He could have said, I'm going to do it on that street corner over there. He could have said, I'm going to do it over on the edge of the river. Makes no difference where. There's no law that he could possibly have broken. I'm going to give away a tennis ball on the corner to the first person that says, to the first person I think is nice. Now, who could be looking at that going, okay, that guy's breaking a law. He's breaking a law because 10,000 people could show up for his tennis ball. No, wait a minute. Not 10,000. 1 million could show up. Oh, wait a minute. No, actually, only maybe 2 would show up. So there can't be any law broken. So anyway, I was very interested in that. And I watched some like video about it because I was like, this is an interesting thing, because this idea of streaming and people gaining these audiences who, these audiences of total dumbasses. I'm sorry. Who'd want to give these people PlayStations? If you know that crew is your audience, dude, shut your stream down, change it to like a cooking show, and get a better audience, man. Because these guys aren't the people you want to be talking to. I'm sorry. If you're talking to people who are rioting, get a new audience. Get an audience where they understand the King of Cups. Calm. I'm going to go down to the PlayStation giveaway and see if this dude will give me a PlayStation tomorrow. But I'm going to make sure that I take with me, a nice cold drink. And if I somehow magically don't get the PlayStation, well, I'll just go to the bookstore because it's nearby. It's just a few blocks away. I'll just go in there and look for a magazine or something. And, if I'm too stupid to go to the bookstore, then I'll just go and get a slice of pizza. I'll have my lunch, I'll have my cold drink, and I'll just wander around and I'll head home, and I'll be really disappointed I didn't get my PlayStation, because after all, I was in the first group of 900 people that showed up, and somehow I didn't get the damn PlayStation, and he only gave away 3. Really dumb people. Really, really dumb. I don't know who they were. Honestly don't know who these people... I don't know who the hell watches a streamer and then goes down to a park and throws a riot. I just don't understand. I don't know who they are. I have no idea. Are they hardcore gamers? Are they... are they law students? Are they political science majors? Who the hell are these people? So anyway. funny, but it's also not because, you know. Oh, here, a card popped out. I'm not doing a reversal. Look. So the first card I pulled this evening was the King of Cups. Now I get the Two of Cups. So the king has met somebody. The king has a partner. The king is establishing a relationship. Possibly there's a discussion, a negotiation going on. There's some kind of a back and forth, a gathering. A start is being made. I kind of like this card. I like it because look, they took the Two of Cups card and they decided to make it also an ad for the creators, for the printer or the artist, whoever colored it in. See that? They put that down at the bottom. They just arbitrarily picked I guess the Two of Cups because they love their work, and it's the two people that probably are responsible for creating this colored version of the Tarot de Marseille. So I always kind of like that for some reason, the way they did that. Where is it here? Oh, that's too small. I have the small. Anyway, it's better here. But, so, specialist, it's Maritzu de Gouillet, Spécialiste de Tarot, and A. Amarish, Création Artistique. There you go. Coffee. Tarot coffee and tarot bubbly. I eat as a snack most evenings these days black cherry Greek yogurt. It's really good. And then I have my cherry sparkling water to go with it. The black cherry somehow, for me, works perfectly with the yogurt. Let me do a quick check and see what our friends are doing in the tarot community. Let's see. Tarot community. I see people playing Baldur's Gate. A bunch of people are playing. Okay, so what am I? Wait. I don't know why. Sometimes the Twitch interface gets me a little confused. All right, so we've got a pretty decent activity tonight with tarot. Looks like somebody is playing. I think they're playing World of Warcraft in the tarot in the tarot category. There's some character with a red background and that's me. And what's this one? Oh, this woman has a nice sort of green border around her tarot thing. Yeah, people know a lot more about this than I do. Like they do things with subs, and I don't have any monetization or anything going on yet. But people seem they're very, they're very capable of like, they set things up well, and they make it all kind of work. They just kind of know what to do better than I do with a stream. I'm a little bit of a. I kind of do it like I do my gaming. I jump in on things that I don't fully understand yet, and I've yelled at Twitch. I've yelled at my streaming software. I'm like, "Ooh, damn it! Why doesn't this do anything? Where's the image from the camera? Why is the camera not showing up? This one thing or another." There are a lot of little elements to streaming. So the whole tarot thing, when you start streaming it, the tarot part is the easiest, really. I also have peanuts here. I can eat them. Another thing. There's a show on TV called The Bear. It's about this young guy who takes over his brother's restaurant. His brother has passed away and left him his restaurant. And he tries to keep it going and make it better. And he's an award-winning chef who then goes back and decides to work in his brother's, a very sort of very down-to-earth little place where people basically go to get sandwiches and maybe a spaghetti dish. And it's nice because it's about creativity. It's about the struggle of keeping something going and how really hard it is. So when the Two of Cups shows up, the Two of Cups is actually perfect for that bear show because there are two characters. This young guy who is in charge of this restaurant and this woman who comes there to work, but essentially ends up very quickly becoming his partner. Which is perfectly represented by a card like the Two of Cups. No, they're both very passionate about what they do. So, in honor of Carl Jung, let me just flip to a part of this book. Let's see, I have a bookmark in here where I was reading something. Oh, it's something. Here's the justice card showing up. Okay. Here's what this woman's saying. Essentially, justice is not concerned with mathematical exactness, but like Astrea, with harmony, functional beauty, and a kind of truth which transcends rote measurement. Beauty is truth, truth beauty, the reality of Keats' famous poetic equation, inspired by the Elgin marbles, is again immortalized in the columns of the Parthenon, which appear to be exact, but are actually concave at the top. If their proportions had been measured by the rules of logic, rather than in the scales of harmony, these columns would have seemed grossly top-heavy. Their dimensions were created to correspond with the limitations and perspective of the human eye. Through their imperfect truth, they have achieved immortal beauty. Justice sets her scales to fit the human equation. For it is man's nature, as it is her own, to create a harmony between opposing forces. See, these ideas, these are good. They're good ideas. Just little ideas like that can get, problems solved. They really can. Another cup. 3. Wow. Wouldn't it be funny if we drew every number in sequential order, just by accident? 3 of cups now. That's opening night of the restaurant. That's when the pair, they've prepared, they've planned, they've got their menu together, they've figured out how to cook the stuff, and they're ready. They're cooking, they're steaming away in the kitchen, and they're ready to go. They're ready to serve the plates. That's what the 3 is, and they love it. Delicious. All the food is super, super good. They're loving their work. They're going crazy, of course, but that's what that 3 is about. It's about coming out and slamming that plate down on the table. Here you are. Wow, we are in sequential order. Now we've got a 4, but a different suit. But we've drawn the 2, the 3, and the 4, 1, 2, and 3, one after the other. Wow. Okay. Well, but this is the 4 of wands now, but we're still in numerical order. How weird. I mean, this is the kind of thing that you enjoy when tarot does these funny little things. You kind of go, well, what the heck? This is good. I have to follow this little path. The 4 of wands. You know, we're talking here about if we're opening the restaurant, we're doing our thing. We slam the first plate down, right? With the 3 of cups, something we love, that we're all excited. That's what the cup, we're all excited. This is glorious opening day of our restaurant. The 4 is now the dependable, solid, creative inspiration that we rely on to get us through the next day of the week and the day after that and after that and after that. Day after day after day. Player who struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. The 4 is that solid, dependable quality that we bring to all of our inspired work. It keeps the doors of the restaurant open every day. It's how we clean the grill at the end of our shift cooking for the night. Before we go home, we scrape and clean the grill. We do all the things that are needed. We mop the floor. We keep everything working just right, because that makes our creativity, puts it on solid feet. There you have the 4. We go and we buy the produce. We talk to the butcher and we get the meats delivered for the week. And that keeps everything, everything reliable. We have a little office where we do our accounting and we make sure we can pay our employees and pay for our napkins and all the stuff we need. And it keeps that 4, gives our creative spirits, if we're cooking, if we're building new menu ideas, it gives that creativity a solid home, right? Very important. I wonder, I'm of half a mind. I am of half a mind to do something like go into the Western world right now. Go in there. Hang on for a second. Let's see. I'm loading something up. We're going to go into Ripwater County and we can continue doing tarot in there. So we're getting there. I'm logging in. Takes a minute. Now, what I'm going to do is there we go. We'll see if we can get in here. It's doing something. Here we are. We're in our little world. Let's get ourselves armed. And now, the reason I do this so willingly is because I'm able to do this. There we have a 3-card reading. I'm playing my character now. That's why I'm talking so strangely like. We got the Wheel of Fortune. We got the moon upside down, and we got the star. Now, this implies an effort. You know, we want to change our station, our status. We want to change things. Something's got to move. The wheels got to turn. We got to get out of a current circumstance into another. Right? Time to move on. And you know, going crazy is not called for at the moment. We got to keep control. We got to stay calm. We got to stay a little quiet. Quietude is required in this general circumstance. Not the time for thinking poetic thoughts at the moment. Now's the time for some rationality and finding our way, being generous, listening to guiding principles, taking what we know, taking advantages and sharing, and what we put in is what we get out. We got to remember these things. Stay calm, stay rational, don't get carried away with our imaginations at the moment. A little bit of restraint is required. Don't want to be getting into flights of fancy at the moment. We want to definitely take guidance, get to our higher best self, and share what we know, what we have, what we can bring to the world to put to use. Keep that in mind. Very important. That's what that reading stands for at the moment. I was walking here in my friend's store. We're gonna go fishing. So, I can't remember. Bait. Buy. Let's stick with worms. I'll buy 8. Maybe I'll buy another. Let me think about it. There's cheese bait. There's bread bait. What the hell? I'll try cricket. Cricket will buy 8 of them. Oh, shoot. Okay. Can I buy 4? Yeah. Oh, my inventory is all full up. Okay, so, well, we'll drop the rocks, all 4 of them, because we're gonna get some fish. Got gold nuggets. I can eat an egg. You know, nobody has yet made a game that works mechanically and environmentally better than this. I play Baldur's Gate. It's got nothing over this thing. The freedom of the camera is incredible in this game. It is how every game should be. I don't know why cameras are locked, so you can only look like this and then scoot back and forth. You know, I just don't understand it. But anyway. Well, hello, Jax. How you doing? It's been a few days, hasn't it? I'll give you some hay. There you go. Now, I think cattail. That's where we're going. We're going to go right down in here. This is my own server. I made it. It's mine. I can do whatever I want in here. I really wish people would show up and play on my server. I'd love it, but nobody does. Nobody has. And I keep the damn thing running anyway, nonetheless. Just for me. But I would be most obliging if people showed up. I am a great host. I am much more civilized than anyone would think. I mean, I treat a thing like this the way I treat my tarot, my tarot group, my tarot stuff. It's the same thing. I'm talking like this because I'm in character. You have to be in character when you come in here. Well, I better get my gun out just in case, because that doesn't sound good. Where am I supposed to be? Oh, up here. Okay. I got him. Come on, Jax. We're going. We're getting away. A goddamn dog pack back there, I think. Now, nothing to tangle with. Don't worry, we'll do tarot reading. Catch some fish first. Right down in here. Look at this. Look at this beautiful place. This is a spot for a cabin. Look at this. Charm and solitude is what I call it. All right. Well, here we are, Jax. Now let's do, look at all the fish bouncing around. That's what we want. And now, we'll use a worm. All right, there you go. I miss them. Damn. Huh. Little bastards aren't coming in. Oh, yeah. We caught a fish. Come on, let's bring him in. He's struggling. Come on, glide on home. Come on, baby. Here you come. Oh. Almost a pound. That. Got a rock bass. All right, so now what I do, let me just go check here. See, there he is. Now, when I go later on, what I'll happen to do is I'll go and go to the store and sell them. Now, let me just see something here. Boom, 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 boom. I'm going to drop some stuff out of here. I can drop some salt, like, let's say like 10. Yeah. All right, let's do another worm. There we go. Is there one over there? Where'd they all go? Oh, there's one. Huh. Well, not so easy now, huh? Just a minute ago, they were all over the beach. Now, they've passed out a notice talking about the lunatic on the shoreline fishing for dinner. Ooh. Oh. There you are. Welcome to the frying pan. Hang on a second. Oh. Let's walk over it. Walk over this way a little. Oh, there's one over there. Where are they? Not a thing. Not a thing. Come on, fishy. Well, aren't you clever? Ah, ha, ha, ha. I knew you were there. He's kicking up a storm. There you go. Welcome home. Come on. Here you are. Get another. All right. Where are the telltale signs? I've never seen anything feel so much like fishing that wasn't actually fishing. Look at that. Well, maybe we have enough. Maybe we don't need any more. See what the tarot says. Let's put away our tools and devices. And see what the tarot tells us. Well, all right. So there's a little lack of our fishing rod. Literally is on the left side in our hand. Literally, we're kind of at a standstill now. We're slowed down. Look at that. We have no ideas which bait to use to improve the situation here. So we got two aces upside down. That means the fishing is probably done for the day. But we have a nice frying pan to load up, and we're going to love our dinner. Over here on the 6, we've got dinner we can share and invite friends to and sit around the table and gab for the rest of the night. So this is all very interesting. That means it's time to go and enjoy what we call. Let's head back into a semi-civilized locale. Oh, shoot. What am I doing? I don't want to do that. I want to go in here and set a mark. Okay. There you go. Come on, Jax. Let's head out. It's wolf time, so we got to be careful because they come prowling. Look at that. That certainly is a wolf time. Did I miss? I missed a damn turn off, didn't I? I always do that up here with this one. I always miss it. He said, darn people. He's a misanthrope. So we have one of them and two of them, two rock bass and a bluegill, and we can go and get it converted in the store. Because the butcher doesn't do it. If you go off here and you try to sell at the butcher, he won't. See, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't deal with fish. These guys do it. All right. We got bluegill. I think we have. I can't even remember. What do we have? 2? No, I have 1. I got fish meat, and I sold the damn thing. So he carved it up for now. We also have what is the other thing we have? I can't remember what the other one was. What the hell was the other thing? Rock bass. All right. So rock bass was a small. Yeah. Sold them. And now, I guess I really ought to be paying for the butchery because the fish cutting. Because see, now I got 13. I got 13 pieces of fish. Look at that. And I got money too. So they paid me. Well, they get the fish heads to make soup out of. What is my job? I can't remember. Oh yeah, I'm the sheriff. What am I talking about? Of course I am. Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I'm after. It's a beer. There you go. That's it. Oh, yeah. Jason Primrose, robbery. Bounty is $200. Status is wanted. Well, there you go. I should lock these doors up. I don't know why I have it all open. Yeah, that's not smart. Hold on a second. We're going to leave them locked. There we go. That was 1. And there's 2. Any messages for the law? Nothing. Let's lock up the office and be smart about things instead of undisciplined. Tight as a drum. Let's head up. Let's pay our respects. We'll go in church and do a tarot reading. How's that for impudence? Well, now you have a very nice sort of arrangement going on. Friends around, enjoying life, sharing and being a part of things. That's all. It's always a good feeling. Security with friends and, having a meal together, that kind of thing. And, as you do something like that, you sit around the table, you talk, you laugh, you come up with things, and somebody blurts out a new idea. So you get that five of swords there, and it's like, oh, yeah, maybe we ought to do something like that. Go rob a bank tomorrow. That's right. Let's do it. And, that's comes up like that. However, what you have coming up to watch out for is a lack of general know-how, an ability to get yourself extricated from the situation you put yourself in. There you have it. 3 cards tell the tale. See, at times I can be quite respectful. I mean, when you're presented with wings up in front of you like that, you have very little choice but to sit down and admire. All right. Well, there's never anybody busy in around in here. It's a quiet location, I guess. It's never had a population. I don't know what to say about it, but not even a tarot attracts them in here. Let's go craft our chicken, a fish. Let's see, plain cooked fish. We got that's about what we're going to get. I guess we could cook all 13 of them. Well, I can do 10. 10 at a time. Can I do any more? Yeah, I can't. I have enough loaded up in my. But I can go and have a meal. Well, now we have some idea percolating like a good cup of coffee in the morning. Something's afoot. Something's gathering up some storm energy, and now we have to remember to stay open, and whatever it is we're planning, we need to listen to our better nature. We need to be generous. Remember we want things to improve. We can't be selfish. We can't be all up in our own business, And then we need to be awfully careful about putting things into action too fast. We got to hold on, and we gotta move gradually. We got to take our time. We can't be impulsive. We can't go rushing in. So we're in that idea gathering stage still, and we're being generous and open to new things. We're going to listen and learn, and we're not going to go bumbling into something. That's what this reading is all about. So there you have a perspective on things and get you through the evening. Howdy. What was I looking for? What a scene, huh? Now that's an interesting angle. It's morning. It's time for a cup of coffee soon.
Morning, partner.
Well, good morning to you. Here we go. Just what I need. The Four of Wands. Again, the stability of the creative enterprise, the home for the creative expression.
Good morning, mister.
Well, good morning to you, mister. Now look, 10 of coins reversed. So we are not done. We are just not ready yet. We do not have enough for a down payment. We are not there. We are not. Nothing is ready yet. We have a lot of work left to do. And only then, when we really push it and do the damn work and stop sitting on our thumbs, are we going to be able to get the next thing rolling. Times will change if we put the work in. That's all that is. We got to finish. We've got to be finishers. Otherwise, nothing will change. And we have to remember that it's a constant, steady application. Steady application. Easy goes it. You know, the strength we apply has to be consistent and measured. Only then will we be able to truly accomplish what we're after. The fellow wants more tobacco. Hangman. So Hangman. It's a good fit because generally tonight we've had this idea of the cards that have been coming up and the I Ching reading that I began with sort of implied consistent effort doing your work, following your success, enjoying it, and doing it with honor and treating all those around you and working with you, anyone you come in contact with, treating them with nobility, with respect, and not pushing too hard and not being grasping. You know, success doesn't require this desperation, you know, and the Hangman reconfirms that because the Hangman is about letting the ego drop. When you hang this way like an old shirt from a clothesline, you are letting the persona relax and sort of putting it out to kind of sway in the wind for a while, to kind of just let time have its effect. Hanged Man isn't trying to accomplish anything at the moment other than simply being aware of themselves. I like going into RIP RP. That's what my Western server is called. I like going in there. I find it, the reason I keep putting up with the expense of keeping it running is I like it. And so I would love it to be filled with players having a good time and asking questions and playing roles and getting into stories. I'd love that, but it doesn't seem that that's ever going to come to pass. I think the server thing with private servers is actually a very limited group, and they have their servers already. And that's that. You're really not gonna break in unless you somehow get a bunch of people to leave a place they already are, for some reason. But there are hundreds of servers, and I think there are not that many players doing role play. So, you make something like this, and you very slim chance. You have to start out with a group that you know from other places, a group of gamers who are wanting to role play. I think a lot of people come over from Grand Theft Auto online into the Western one. They go back and forth between those two a lot. But I think a lot of these groups kind of know each other already. Probably a better thing to do before starting a server would be to establish as a player on a server. But then you're in this awkward position of what are you going to do? Run around and ask players that you know to leave the server they're on and come to yours? That's called poaching. That's not cool. So I don't want to do that. So the only real honorable way to do it, I think, is make a server, put it up, and let people know somehow it's there. And if they come, they come. But build it and they will come is not true. It's just not true. But it's fun. it's even fun to build it. The work itself is fun. And so every once in a while I like to go in there. So there you go. There you have it. All right. Well, I've actually enjoyed a very, very sort of quiet stream tonight. It's been a nice little sort of relaxing fishing expedition with some nice little card draws just for the, and got some interesting little results. Finishing up here with the Hangman. I think the Hangman's a good card to close an evening on and sort of sleep on, All right. Well, that's a wonderful time. And the stream world is always a good place to be with tarot. So enjoy. And I'm going to be back. If not tomorrow night, I'll come back for sure the next night on schedule. So good night, Stream Tarot World. Enjoy the next day.